This podcast contains profanity and explicit material from the outset,
which may not be suitable for children or sensitive adults.
The views expressed are made in humour and are not designed to offend.
Now sit back and enjoy. Hey guys, Dave here. Before we start the episode, the boys and I want to say a massive thank you to Jordan for sharing his story with us. Over the next hour or so, there's going to be some laughs, some tears, and an amazingly raw and powerful story to listen to. Have a listen to his message at the end of the episode, and if in doubt, get your health checked out. So strap in and enjoy the special edition of the Three Little Pigs podcast.
Good evening, ladles and jelly beans, and everything and everyone in between. Tonight, we are bringing you a more serious episode of the Three Little Pigs podcast, which we've aptly named the Testicular Special. Following our recent creative accompaniment with Manscaped, we've been looking deeply at what they call their cause. Now, did you know one man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? Now, at Manscaped, they save balls. This means not only designing the right tools for the job, but raising awareness for the ball-busting disease, which is the most common form of cancer among men ages 15 to 35. As part of their brand mission, their partnership with the Testicular Cancer Society aims to educate and entertain while spreading a very important message about early detection and self-screening to protect yourself against men's health issues and cancer risks. This is a direct quote from Manscaped CEO Paul Tran. Together, we save balls. Men's health and hygiene is at the core of Manscaped. It is the essence of our cause. This partnership will raise awareness on an issue that impacts men of all ages. Early detection is imperative. Not only do we feel compelled to get the word out, we feel that it's our duty to do so. So working together to keep them together, Manscaped and the Testicular Cancer Society want to remind you to check your boys for testicular cancer at least once a month. Manscaped and the Testicular Cancer Society, working together to keep them together. With collaborations and support from the Manscaped community, we can increase social awareness, raise much-needed funds for cancer research, and provide the right support to save lives and balls. Now, tonight, ladles and jelly beans, we have a very special guest joining us here to share his story about his balls. Now, one of my very best friends from all the way back in Scotland, we have Jordan joining us this evening to share his story. But firstly, though, tonight we have no Goose, as he got the shits and is unable to join us. But fear not, we will be back with episode 18 or 19 or whatever it is next. Yeah. Jordan, welcome.
Hello, Australia and other nations who listen to this show.
Hello, Earth people.
Hello, Dave's parents.
Hello. Yeah, I am Jordan. I am from Scotland. Jay will be the interpreter for this evening.
and Dave is from New Zealand, but his family are originally from Dundee, so he will be my interpreter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He has webbed feet, Jordan. He's a strong swimmer like you.
Oh, I see. Oh, another part of the family. Nice.
Another part. No, Jordan.
Practical brothers.
Yeah, practically. They drink from the same cup.
The furry cup.
Well, I've known Jordan on a night out to kiss a few boys.
I'm often well hydrated.
Any liquid holding device, Jordan's happy to drink from. Jordan, thank you for joining us. It's been a little bit in the planning and the making, but yeah, no, it's good to have you on with us.
Yeah, man. It's been good.
Good to be here. It's a bit more of a serious episode tonight, so we will try and get a few funnies in there.
It's quite. I've been trying to think of ways for to make it funny, and it's quite difficult, if I'm honest.
But that's the thing. You're not going to be able to make the whole thing funny.
Yeah, I can fire a funny in every now and again, but I'm trying to make it kind of light-hearted. Oh, I nearly died. But it's not really like the funniest thing in the world.
Well, that's how we could start the video. Oh, Jordan, remember that time you nearly died?
Nearly died. Remember that?
Yeah. But no, I mean, Dave, unless you've got any questions, let's just get into the fucking guts of it.
Yeah, man. I said we normally do a a bit that's been annoying the piss out of us for the week. But I think obviously with the content of the cast today and the testicle special, for want of a better word, I think if we go straight into it, I'm more than happy to do that.
Unless, Jordan, do you have any fuckwits, any people that have pissed you off or done something that's annoyed you, or perhaps someone that you may work with that's got a new job that done a thing that was really annoying that you might want to air?
Nah, not overly so. No more usual, to be honest. Nothing that's worth that's worth a rant, really.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah. I propose
people existing around me, mate.
Is that just one thing that's really annoyed me this week is just the general existence of others.
That's it, mate. Just every day I'm like, oh, why are people?
Why are you here? Get off my land. No, was it get off my swamp?
Get off my life.
Onions have
get out the fucking road. What's that?
Ogres have layers. Onions have layers.
What was that thing you said that I said you would have said in the Shrek accent?
It's at least it keeps your at least it keeps your diarrhea in.
Oh yeah, that was it. I can't remember why we were talking in the group chat and something came up and I'd said, "Oh, at least it keeps the diarrhea in," and then I think David put a picture of Shrek up, and then immediately I replied, "I know for a fact that you heard me saying that, like, at least it keeps the diarrhea in."
That was a sort of Billy Connolly there.
Kind of. It was more. I was trying to be more Shrek, but maybe early days Mike Myers.
The Joby week.
You know,
yeah.
Joby. Whoosh. Joby going out the window.
I'm going to say something quite controversial here. It's like, see some Billy Connolly stuff. I don't really like it that much. I know as a Scottish man, I'm supposed to really like it, but see all his songs, no funny.
Yeah,
it was really not.
To me, I think it was a different era of comedy. Like it doesn't ring true to the things that affect us or affected us when we grew up. Like, you know, so to speak. Like, you know, you and me, with all due respect to our elders, we didn't walk down the docks.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, we didn't do these things. We didn't have.
We just went down at night, didn't we?
Yeah, and sold your body to dirty
tramps.
Yeah. We went down at night and sold kisses
to able-bodied seamen.
Sold kisses. Here, mate, you want a kiss?
No, it's like, you guys want to buy some kisses?
Some big sailor. No, thank you. Thanks.
Do you take card?
You sure? Yeah. I don't have any money on it. That's all right. Do you have PayPass?
Try to PayPal a kiss to something.
Jordan, there's a whole industry made up of that, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's called OnlyFans, mate.
Yeah.
I suppose I.
Yeah.
Oh, no one wants that.
Only scrans or only bams or whatever it was.
It was only mine was Instascran. That was my idea.
Oh yeah, Instascran. Yeah, I'll tell Dave about Instascran.
Oh, I'm sure it's a thing now. But Instascran is like when you have a scran, like you have something to eat, just take a photo of it and you just post it on Instascran. I could make millions off that. But I think it is actually a thing now.
Okay.
It was like, I think someone stole my idea, like the sausage cheese. Remember the sausage cheese?
Yes. Tell Dave about the sausage cheese.
Well, it's just simply a cheese. It's more about the name than anything else. It's just a cheese-filled sausage, but I just thought the name was really funny.
Oh, I love cheese-filled sausages. Cheese-filled cream.
Yeah, it should be a thing.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sure that's even...
On you go.
I'm sure there's a thing in America. Well, of course it's America, but I'm sure it is a thing in America. Sausage, cheese.
Yeah, they have them here at the servo. I think it's just called a cheese sausage at the servo.
Oh.
But yeah, and Australia's good at the quirky names as well, so they've really missed a beat with the. Maybe we should sell that to fucking Caltex, Dave.
Yeah.
You know, sell the term sausages.
Sausages.
Yeah, it'll work. Or what about? Did we not come up with some like funny OnlyFans things one night as well? Just like only cans. Yeah, it's just pictures of cans.
Yeah, and OnlyFans pictures it as fans turning repeatedly for a couple of hours and earning shitloads of money.
Yeah. And then I think there was another one. It was Only Dan's. It was just for like guys called Dan.
Dan, yeah.
I'd subscribe to that.
Yeah. £4.99 a month.
Yeah, that's not bad, actually. That's not bad. That's not a bad
That's pretty
subscription
decent,
service.
actually.
Yeah.
I'd definitely pay for that. I mean, Spotify's like a $5 a month or something like that. I'd get rid of Spotify and just have that.
Ditch your Disney
Just a
Plus and
guy's
get
called
yourself a...
Dan.
Yeah, I would do that. That's something I would get involved in.
Anyway, Jordan, back to your testicles.
Back to my balls.
Back to your balls. What month was it? It was because I was here when it happened, wasn't I?
It was no, you went over in May, I think.
Aye, but it was the Christmas after that. Like
It was in kind of like late December sort of time that I've kind of started to get a bit sort of I felt something.
Mm. So how did it happen from the start? So what was the first? How did you notice it?
At the very start,
What
it
went
was sort of start of December. I sort of felt something. I was just in the shower one night. I was just cleaning myself as you do, and I was like, "Oh, that shouldn't be there." And it was a little sort of just a little rough patch on one of my balls. It was like maybe the size of like a thumbnail or something like that.
Mm.
So I was like, "Oh, that shouldn't really be there." So I was like, so I was just kind of speaking to myself. I was like, "I'll leave it a couple of weeks, see what happens." And then within like a week, it got bigger. And then I've sort of thought, like, I should maybe do something about this now. Got an appointment with the doctors, pretty quick actually, because they didn't really mess about with stuff like this. Got in, sat down, and was like, oh, there's something on the ball. And so you go in, obviously the obligatory, get the trousers off, all that sort of embarrassment out the way.
And that's before you even see the doctor.
Yeah.
That's a reception.
Yeah. You have to waddle through the car park.
Yeah, exactly. And it was winter as well. It was embarrassing.
and I wouldn't have done very well because I've not got much to hide anyway. So
that's it, mate.
I would have done even worse.
I was absolutely mortified. And then obviously with it being winter, the cold hands as well, mate. So she pokes about and stuff like that. And you obviously stand there. Yeah, exactly. So you sort of become very embarrassed about this whole thing. And it had to be a lady doctor as well, didn't it? But they make it 10 times worse. And that was sort of, so you get that out of the way once they poke it. So what happens after that? So they make an appointment for me to go to the hospital within like maybe 2 or 3 days for to get an ultrasound. So see that thing that they use for like your wife's pregnant or something like that.
Excuse me. Can I just track back as well that the NHS, as good as it is, everything's free, you never have to fork out for anything, but fuck, it takes so long to even get a doctor's appointment, let alone get a referral to a specialist. Like I remember I didn't go to the doctors much back home because there's no point, because you'd phone and we've not got anything for 3 weeks. It's like, well, in 3 weeks I'll either be dead or I'll be better.
Yeah, so, that's your choice.
Is this your normal like?
That's your choice. Yeah.
Is that like your normal doctor? Oh wow, holy shit!
Yes. It's so difficult to get a doctor's appointment.
Whereas we can call up and get a doctor appointment now if I really want one.
Yeah, Jordan, I had a doctor. Remember when I had issues with my kidneys?
Yeah.
I got a doctor's appointment on a Sunday morning.
Oh, nice.
And it was
we don't get that. Doctors don't work weekends here. Unless it's an emergency. Unless you're in proper shtick, you've got to be like pretty much dying for a doctor to come and see you.
Yeah, you've pretty much got to be losing blood rapidly and an A&E to even get considered looked at by a doctor.
Even now, it's so much worse. See, because of like COVID and stuff like that, it's so hard to get a doctor's appointment. They won't even see you.
Mm.
Like you literally can't even physically go into a doctor. They have to do it through like a video call and stuff like that, like in the house. They do it over like Zoom or something like that, and you have to speak to a doctor. Or you like, see if you've got like, for instance, if you've got like a manky toe or something like that, you have to send them a photo of your toe for them to look at it rather than just go in. It's so mad just now. Like, they're so scared.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Do you think on the video call, do they still make you take your trousers off as well?
Yeah.
Oh, if you could just take your trousers off. But doctor, it's a chesty cough I've got. Yeah, just take your trousers off. Thanks.
Take your fucking trousers off.
So it was such a question. Take them off now. Slow.
Take them off now. It's like there was a scam thing going around that was targeting young girls in America, and it was like, like they would Google like I think I might be pregnant, blah blah blah. And then this advert come up for like online virtual GP's appointments to check if
Yeah.
you were pregnant.
Ugh.
What these guys ended up managing to convince these fucking young girls that it was like take the clothes off and they take pictures and videos of them and stuff like that and just
Oh,
obviously for
what?
their own sexual
Wow.
gratification. But these girls fell for it.
That's
It's like,
mad.
oh
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. It's like turn around, just turn around. I just need to look at your butthole real quick so if I can see if you're pregnant.
That's
Like
crazy.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was.
The
it
doctor
was
did
fucking-
that to
was
me.
quite-
It was weird.
to check if you were pregnant.
Yeah,
Dave.
my wife went in to get a pregnancy test, and he put his finger in my ass. I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
Dave, I don't know how medicine works, but that's it. That's how it works. Them's the rules.
You should find a new doctor, I think.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, it's like a doctor without a constant erection. That's probably the
Yeah.
best one.
I'd like to see Doctor. I'd like to see Doctor Floppy, please.
That's-
take your fucking pants off. What?
Fucking
Yeah.
grabs your hair and shit when you're in there.
The doctor, I really appreciate you looking at me, but did you have to smack me in the face as well?
Yeah, I
cho-
jumped
it
to spit
choked
in my
me.
mouth.
Why did you spit in my mouth? This
Oh, what?
This has become really sinister and really off topic when
Yeah.
we're just talking about. But I just wanted to highlight that the NHS isn't a quick process.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even back then, even back when I was in Scotland, when everything was
Yeah.
fine before COVID. So,
Well,
sorry,
in
back-
this instance, they were pretty quick actually. They don't really mess with it.
yeah.
So
and
the
did you sorry, just before you go on, did you actually tell them when you phoned up originally that, oh look, there's something on my nut?
I can't remember, but I probably must have said something.
Yeah.
Or they might have put me through to the doctor or something like that. To
Yeah.
speak to them. But in this whole sort of story that I'm going to tell, the whole process of me, my very first doctor's appointment to being cured, so to speak, to end the chemo is like 3 and a bit months. So
Oh,
it's
holy
so
shit.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes.
Yeah.
Everything moves so fast. So where was I? So you go and get the ultrasound, and it's again that's weird because you go into a wee dark room where like it's supposed to, and then you sit on the wee table and they lean you back. You have to reveal yourself again, and then
single man, reveal yourself.
But what they did is they gave me like a wee paper towel for to hide my willy. So that was it. I just had to sit there and hold it out the way so it wouldn't like flop down so they could get a good look at it.
Just your balls.
But,
Just your balls.
Yeah, just the balls, please, sir.
Could you please move that out of the way? It's distracting.
Like it was a pure monster or something like that. You're like, oh Jesus! Oh,
What are those stands they put ladies' legs on when they're giving
Stirrups.
birth? Yeah,
Stirrups.
you got
Oh, yeah.
Cock
you got a
stirrups,
stirrup out for you.
Uh,
Yeah, cock
yeah, I have
stirrup.
to like ratchet strap my cock out the way and stuff.
There's some fucking RAC toy guy there. Like,
Tame that
with-
beast.
He's pulling the ratchet strap while you sign off the paperwork for $500 for the.
Yeah. But what was really nice actually was what I really did appreciate is see when they put the sort of the jelly sort of fluid stuff on.
Mm.
It's in a wee warmer. They take it out
Yeah.
a warm little thing and it's really nice. It doesn't make your balls all shrivel up. So that was actually quite pleasant.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you get
and
the
then
chocolate
so
flavour?
it was flavourless, unfortunately.
Oh,
It is
okay.
NHS after all.
No, that's true.
Oh yeah, true.
It's
not like
taxpayers' money.
private health. You would have had a choice of a raspberry or mango fandango.
Oh, that would have been a delicious experience, I think. That would have been so much better.
Yeah, a delicious experience.
Can I just keep this? And so you go, so they go in and they have you poke about stuff like that, and then they give you a paper towel for you to sort of just dry yourself off as well. But they're still in the room, so you just have to stand there like all sheepish, like just drying yourself off while they're just standing there staring at you. So you like,
Were they
and then
smoking a cigarette?
stand there again. Well, maybe. Usually sleeping. They're sleeping. You can leave.
Get the fuck out.
And then you just sort of leave. That me, aye, and then you just go, and then you wait a couple of days, and I got called back again, and this was like I think it was just like 2 days before Christmas. So I go see the oncologist, and I'm sitting sort of in the waiting room, all kind of like, all scared and that, not really knowing what's happening. And it's just full of like old people, and I'm like, oh shit, this is where I belong. Because like cancer's like an old person thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
it is. It's just as a young person to be sitting in there with a disease that is more common in the older generation, shall we say?
Yeah.
That must have not been nice sitting there like, oh fuck.
I was only 24 at the time, so I was like, oh no, what's happening here?
Yeah,
So I go-
you would have been. You would have been.
So I go in, see the doctor and stuff like that, and the most beautiful phrase that I'll remember for the day that I die is he said, I don't know what it is, but it's got to come out. I was like, oh, all right. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, oh, well, you have to have like, surgery and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, cool, no problem. So he was like, because it's Christmas, it might be a bit later. And I was like, what? All right, cool. So, so I had to wait until like the doctors had their Christmas holiday, essentially. And then they came back. And then I think it was the 4th of January. I think it may have been the 4th of January that I had my surgery. And that was very strange. That was a kind of really sort of strange day. Also, throughout all this, just sort of previously, 2 weeks before, my sister just had a baby. So that was pretty rough as well.
Oh, was that when Ruby was born?
Yeah, that's when Ruby was born, aye.
Ah,
So
Christ.
she was,
I remember sorry, on you go.
so like she was going through enough as it was, and everybody was all kind of like, not so much stressed out, but you know what I mean? It was a big sort of moment in everybody's life and the family. And I'm just there like, oh fuck, I'm going to have to tell them. So once I got out of that sort of the appointment with the doctor, I don't know what it is, but it's got to come out the doctor, sort of sat in the car as sort of, oh shit, what do I do? So like I just messaged all yous in the group chat, just be like, oh, I've got cancer, just quite casual sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was going to say, because I remember just getting this text and like, well, A, it's like, it's good that you told us, but B, it's like, why the fuck did he text us? Like,
Yeah.
like could you not have at least recorded a voice message?
Yeah, I know, that's the thing, it was so like crazy, the whole sort of situation. I was just like, I've just got to tell people and get it done and over with, because there's no point in making it this big dour sort of miserable experience. So tell people, blah blah blah, done. And then I was like, right, I need to phone my mum and dad and my sister and tell them. And it was so hard just like phoning them, because I had to just phone, like, I really didn't want to be there and tell them face to face. I just didn't have the balls to do it really. But so
you didn't have the ball to do it, Jordan.
yeah, the bottle. So phoned them, got that out of the way, and that was really hard, especially like my sister, because she was going through some crazy emotions as it was. Told her, and then I went in, and then it was this big emotional thing, that kind of stuff. So I had my wee pamphlets, gave them what they need done, read this, and then sort of just dealt with it. Really, that's the sort of thing. Is that like you don't really have a choice, but to just sort of be like, all right, this is it. You just got to do it. That's probably the hardest part of it, is sort of convincing yourself that you're fine when you're really not.
Yeah.
Because you try to sort of rationalize everything, but then it's such a difficult sort of situation, because you don't really know anything at that point either. You don't really know what's going to happen or what lies ahead of you.
Yeah.
Especially like in their family are more confused as well, because they know less than you. So you do a wee bit of research. I didn't want to do like too much sort of research on what happens, because obviously I'll end up just, if you go into Google and stuff like that, it just becomes this horrible like whirlwind of just information of just, oh no, well, I'll be dead in 2 weeks sort of thing. So I tried not to sort of do too much of it. And that was sort of it. Like, you just sort of wait for surgery, and then so surgery day came. Blah blah blah. It was just a day surgery. I was in and out the same day. So crazy. It was such a quick sort of turnaround. So I went in sort of lunchtime and then sat about for a few hours, and then doctor comes to see me. Oh, actually, funny thing. Actually, I've got two funny things to tell you. So a couple of years ago, I snapped my banjo string. Remember, Jay?
I remember this dearly. I'm surprised
Remember.
we're going this. I'm surprised we're going this deep. But,
Yes. It's getting serious now, real talk.
yeah. Do you mind that time that this happened?
So the surgeon that came out, I had to get like surgery. I had to get a frenuloplasty on my banjo strings. I had to get surgery because it kept snapping all the time. So.
Yeah, you had to get your guitar serviced. You had to get
Yes,
it
I had to get-
restrung.
Yeah, I had to get it restrung. So coincidentally, the guy that cut my ball out was the same guy, the same surgeon.
Oh, was it?
Aye.
Oh, I don't remember you saying that.
He was like, he was like, remember me? He was like an Irish guy, and I was like, oh, you. He was like, aye, so it's the same guy. So there's that. And then as I was sitting there, he obviously kind of put my wee gown on and stuff like that, looking all feeling all vulnerable and scared and everything. Like they put like an R on your leg for the make sure it's like that's the ball that comes out because obviously they don't want to take the wrong one out.
No, you're not.
So it's a big giant that was just sort of in Sharpie, just write R on your leg. And then I'm sitting there and then like a bit bored and stuff like that. And everybody's kind of like around you and there's people next to you in beds and stuff like that. So when I was there, like the guy next to me, he was getting some sort of surgery as well. And like so he was getting his wee consultation and stuff. And they pulled the curtain across, but you could hear, can you? So I was earwigging, right? I was sitting there listening.
I was listening to this guy's demise.
I was listening to like, what's up with this guy? It turns out, right, this guy next to me had anal skin tags.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
That would have hurt. Yeah, that would have been
Yeah.
sore surgery.
Yeah. So I was like, after they pulled the curtain across, I just couldn't look at him. I just couldn't look at this man suffering. I just seen him in a totally different light.
Yeah.
So he went and got his surgery before me. And he came back and what an absolute state he was in. He was proper like, oh, like such a fat. I was like, oh, please go.
You should have just been like, is your ass there, pal? Eh?
You're right there, buddy.
My
So,
arse
like-
is in tatters.
Have you been practicing your Scottish accent?
Aye, that I have, man.
He does. He actually does not too bad. He does some on most recordings. He'll get something in there.
So I sort of go and get my surgery done. It's all very sort of standard. So I wake up in this sort of like that's the thing about like getting surgery and stuff like that. It's not really like sleeping. You just sort of close your eyes and you wake up.
It's a very weird experience.
Aye, and
It's like it's over instantly.
yeah, aye. So I was like, I had a wee peek down, and I was like, lifting the covers up, and the nurse was like, leave it alone. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, just poking about.
No, didn't play with it.
Yeah, like I thought I'd shat myself because they put like they put like a mat below you, and like kind of they put like iodine on you as well. Like it was all like dripped on it. I was like, oh no, did he tell me? So like I was having a wee look. I was like, oh, that's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Can you imagine that?
You just imagining this thing. This doctor's like fucking needle deep dealing with your testicle removal, and you just have explosive diarrhea all up the fucking walls.
Yeah, I know. As if it's not mortifying enough.
Yeah. just because you had a coffee 3 days ago, and that's it making its way through. You know.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then what happened after? So I woke up, and I'm a bit dazed and confused. And that, and I just kind of started crying just out the blue, just randomly. It was just really strange. I think that happens quite a lot. People say, well, that's what the nurse said anyway. Say that happens quite a lot because people just feel a bit scared when they wake up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I sat there for an hour, got a wee sandwich, and then I think within an hour and a half, I was out. I had to get the nurse to put my shoes on for me because I couldn't bend down.
No, don't piss at that, do they?
So I was out, sent away, and then like I think it was maybe a week later, like they send my ball away to do tests, stuff like that, for the sort of I don't know what they do with it, and then they just throw it in a bin or something. So
just shut it. The recycling goes out the more a Davy. I get wait. Then I've got something else.
a big wheelie bin full of boys.
Do you know, I wouldn't be surprised. It would be quite sad if that was true. That the NHS did have to throw out a wheelie bin's worth of balls every week.
Just imagine them empty though, the noise.
Imagine if you picked up or if you burst open a bag of raw chickpeas and it just fucking all over a tile floor. I imagine it'd be something like that. What part of the story were you at, Jordan? I think you'd been in. You'd woke up, you were crying.
You got kicked the fuck out.
They kicked you out,
got,
and the nurse had to put your shoes on. I think that was the kind of last.
Yeah.
So once the nurse had sort of put my shoes on, I just went home really, and then sort of just suffered for a couple of days. Then it was fine. Like the surgery, like afterwards, it wasn't really that sore. I thought it would have been like absolute agony, but it was actually okay. Like I thought they would sort of cut into the ball sack, I suppose, and take it out from there, but they don't. They take it from above, so see where your pubes sit, essentially. They cut there, and then they pull it up.
They go down, they go down the way.
They go down the way rather than in.
So okay.
So they cut there, and I've got like a giant scar there. So they do that, and then they just give you a big plaster that sticks to your pubes, and you've got to rip it off, and it's really sore. So that was the worst part of it. Taking the plaster off for the first time. So that kind of healed up within a few weeks actually. And then I had to go back for my appointment again. And then they told me, so I was sitting talking to the doctor, blah, blah, and they were like, yeah, you had cancer, but we do that anyway. But mine was sort of early, sort of stage 2.
Oh, shit.
So it was called a sarcoidoma that I had, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was called, or something like that. So what happened? So I think that's one of the more sort of, there's 2 testicular cancers. Mine was sort of quite an aggressive one, I suppose. I think so. I can't really remember, to be honest. So it kind of spread quite fast.
You didn't pay much attention, did you?
It was just, it was just so much information getting funny at one time. You're like, cool, whatever. So,
they give you all the fancy like words for it.
Yeah.
Mate, just say if I've got ball cancer, just tell me I've got ball cancer and it's aggressive.
Yeah, that's essentially all I wanted. I wanted just the basic information. Just tell me, well, how long does this have to go on for, pretty much. So it was that, and then they told me that it spread. So stage 2 is that it spread outside the testicle, really.
Oh shit.
So it spread into sort of the ball sack area. Essentially, stage 2 is when it starts to sort of go into your abdomen. Stage 3 is when it's in your lungs, and then stage 4 it's in your brain. So mine was stage 2, but it wasn't that far gone that it spread into my abdomen. It was just very, very early stage 2. So I was quite lucky, really. So they told me, like, gonna have to take chemotherapy. I was like, oh fuck, I thought it was all. I thought this would just be it. Because
whack it off, and that's you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's honestly what I thought it was, because it was no talk of.
They whack it off, and you went up with your old ball in a towel up the road. So that was you away.
That's it.
Wrapped in a towel.
So like, that's it, because there was no talk about like, oh, you might have to do chemotherapy after this. There was never that talk with anybody before. So done that, and then because I thought the reason I thought that it would be sort of quite an easy sort of process is that my uncle had testicular cancer a few years ago, and he just got it cut out, bumped, done. That was it.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that was sort of the whole process of it, but evidently not. So mine was just a sort of just in case it has spread somewhere else, because my tumour markers were still sort of slightly raised, but they're always going to be slightly raised just after you've like got it cut out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So me and Lisa went away for a couple of days just to kind of get away from it all, and then went to Glasgow to the beaches, and then got told that next week I would be starting chemotherapy. Like, shit. So just give you loads of pamphlets and just sort of send you on your way, and you just have to sort of. That was when it sort of kind of got a bit serious, really, because before it wasn't so much a game, but you know what I mean. It wasn't real. Whereas like chemotherapy is such a big thing, and it's like built up to be this huge big thing that you have to overcome. So that was when it became very sort of real for me, and I just done that thing that every guy does, is that you pretend you're fine. It's like, I'll be all right. Couple of weeks, boom, done, and I'll be fine. But it sort of turned into this whole big journey, I suppose, to misery.
Oh, that's nice.
I know that's it, because
Yeah.
you don't really know what's going to happen to you, because everybody responds differently to it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
So you can look through like all the information they give you, but you don't know how you personally will react to it. So you go in on the first day. Mine was going to be 2 cycles of BP chemotherapy. So it's bleomycin, etoposide, and cisplatin. That's the 3 drugs that you get.
Mhm. So when you say two cycles, what does that mean? Just for people that...
2 3-week cycles.
Right.
So what you do is you go in the first week, you get you go in for 3 days, I think it was, and you just lie in bed essentially, filled full of chemicals, and then you go away and you have to come back a week later, get a jag in your bum of cisplatin, and then you go away again, and then you come back, get another jag in the bum, and then you've got a week of nothing, where you don't do anything. So that allows your red blood cells for to sort of come back, and you start to feel better.
When you say a week of nothing, were you in the hospital at that point?
No, I was in the house. I was in the hospital for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I'll go home on the Monday, and then I would go back every following Friday for to get an extra jag. And then that was one whole sort of block of chemo. So I done that twice. So the first time I went in, obviously really nervous about what's about to happen and stuff like that. Not sure what's going on. And I got bought a Domino's pizza for some reason. I was just sitting in my room. Just the hospital. They were like, "You want a Domino's?" I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Free pizza.
Yeah, so had that, and then I was quite lucky actually. I had a room to myself. I think it's because I was really young. I had a room to myself. They didn't want me to be around all the other sort of people that were like dying and stuff like that. They wanted to keep me away from all that, because I had quite a sort of good outlook on it all. Like, it was never going to be a death sentence for me, if you know what I mean. So they wanted to kind of keep it away from all that, so I didn't get inside my head.
That's that side of it. Yeah, and I guess because you hear things in interviews and that, and a lot of people that have went through your experience will say that a lot of how they recovered or how they felt, a lot of it was mental, and that had a direct effect on what happened to them.
That's it. See that
you do hear of people that they find out and they just give up and they just lose hope, and then before long it takes them.
I didn't want to succumb to everything, like, because I think, like you say, a lot of people can just be like, "Oh well, that's me done now." It's like, no way is that the end of it. It can't end like that. So you just have to just have a good outlook on it, and like, see the thing is, see for the whole sort of process of it all, the whole sort of 3-4 months of it all, at no point was I scared of dying, if you know what I mean. I was never like, it was never a thought in my head that, oh well, this could be it.
Yeah.
It never really came into my head.
Yeah, so you say you weren't scared. Is that because that you had it in your mindset that this isn't going to be the end of me, or that you just that you weren't scared of dying in general? What was that?
I don't know. To this day I still can't really explain it. Is that I just sort of just got on with it. You're at the mercy of the doctors and nurses, so you just have to do what they tell you to do and hope that it works out. So it's sort of, it's quite. I took it out of my hands, if you know what I mean. It was just there. It was their problem to deal with, and I was just there getting it done to me.
Yeah. So would you say you more took the attitude of like, oh no, just death's just not an option. Like, that's just, I'm not going to think about that because that's not happening.
I sort of just put it in my head, and I just dealt with what was in front of me, which was the chemo sickness, and that's all I dealt with.
Yeah,
and everything else just sort of fell by the wayside, really.
Because you've never really, well, certainly not with me, but like we've never really spoken this in depth about it as well, and it's good to hear that.
Yeah, I do very rarely. I don't really speak about it too much. It's not in a sort of like, because I don't like to speak to other people with it, because other people feel uncomfortable with it as well.
Of course.
It's really strange. That some people, like, people just feel uncomfortable. They'll say cancer, but they'll say it in like a hushed voice.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, how's your cancer? Stuff like that.
They do that. They do that, and we shouldn't make fun of people that are deaf or maybe have difficult with speech, but they do that thing where, oh, he's got cancer. You know, they do that.
They do that voice.
You know, they make that voice, and I wasn't doing that to be funny, but people generally fucking do that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
say
it. Like no one likes to speak about it, and like that's the whole point. Is obviously like coming on things like this is like speak about it and let people be more open about it. Because suppose now I could have just left it a couple of weeks, I could have been dead.
Yeah, exactly.
It could have been a far worse situation considering how quickly it changed.
Yeah, that's it. Because it moves so fast that you have to deal with it right there and then. You can't just wait maybe like 2-3 weeks.
No.
And you felt it grow as well. Like you felt it change.
Yeah, just in the space of like a week. I think it was a week I left it. It got so much bigger. So you have to just
holy shit, that's crazy.
You have to get over. Yeah, you have to kind of get over that whole embarrassment of I'm going to get my dick out for someone. You just have to get over it. Really, it's something you've got to deal with. Doctors have seen a million willies. Yours isn't any different. Yours isn't special.
Testicular Special. Doctors have seen a million willies.
Yeah. See now, I'll get my willy at the drop of a hat. It doesn't matter to me.
That's it. Yeah, you've done it that many times.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me anymore.
And not even when it's wanted either.
Yeah, when it's not requested.
Yeah. When he's at church or that or the wedding, he'll be doing it at the wedding tomorrow.
Yeah, when you least expect it, it'll be there.
See, he got his willy out.
That's the beauty of it. It can sneak up on you. But so when you start doing chemo, like you just hook you up to this machine. Mine was overnight, so essentially I didn't sleep for 3 days.
Oh.
When I didn't move out of bed. It's so strange. Like, see, the first day you feel totally fine, nothing's wrong, and then the second day it just boom hit you. You're ill, and you can't move. Your heart's properly beating out your chest. Just generally feel. It's quite hard to put specifics on how you feel, but it's like the worst cold and the worst hangover you've ever had combined together.
Oh,
wow.
And you feel sick. But this goes on for like 6 weeks.
Oh shit.
And then,
So
I thought just being 31 now that's how you felt. Like you just generally felt shite all the time.
Chemo feels like being 31.
Chemo at 25 feels like you're 31 existing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like, mate. And then that whole 6 weeks was just a total blur, to be honest. Nothing. You just have these weird thoughts in your head because the chemicals mess with everything in your head as well, and you have these really weird dreams. I kept having the same dream over and over and over again. And
what was it? Do you remember?
I remember it. It was the weirdest dream. It doesn't make sense. Do you know Louis C.K., the comedian?
Yeah.
I met him in New York, and me and him would just walk the walk over and over and over and over again. That was my dream, and I would have it all night, every single night.
Wow, that's
Dave,
crazy.
could you do some like Twittery, Instagrammy stuff and like tag Louis C.K. see if he can hear this and give Jordan a shout out or something?
It's his name, not Mud, now, because he was like wanking in front of
Yeah, he's been masturbating in front of females.
Oh, was he? Oh, that's a shame.
His career's over.
Never mind. Never mind.
Best not to.
Louis C.K. revives comedy career by going for a walk with ex-cancer victim.
Sorry, that was a dream that I had every single night, and eventually I just didn't want to go to sleep because I knew I would have that dream.
Sorry, was his chat any good?
I can't even remember what it was. I can't remember. It probably not, because it would have been because it was my dream. It would have been my chat, so it would have been terrible.
it was just your patter, but coming from Louis C.K.
Just in his accent. But like for the first week of it, I didn't eat.
Oh.
I lost like 1.5 stone, which is what's that in kilos?
What's that in kilos? Yeah, let's convert for our Australasian clientele.
12.
1.5 stone in kg is 9.5 kilos.
9.5 kilos. I lost that in a week.
Oh,
just through
hell, man.
just through not eating. I couldn't face a single bit of food. After that, I started to eat a little bit more stuff because I was making myself eat. Then that was just the first. That was just the whole sort of the process of the first week of just trying to get through it all. It's so see when you hit like the third week though, you start to feel better because like you've not got all the drugs in your system because they've all been sort of flushed out. So you start to feel a bit better. Like, oh, this is fine, and then you're not fine. So and
then you're not fine.
And then you go back in and do it all again. And then so see the second time I went in, I took a huge panic attack. I've never taken a panic attack in my life, except then. I was so scared. I was so. What I really wanted, I really liked the nurse that took me in that day, and she was like, I was with her all day and stuff like that, and I just wanted her to be there, and she finished her shift. And I just took a pure panic attack, and I just wanted. I think her name was like Debbie or something. I want Debbie to and she obviously she never came back because why would she? But and I also remember the doctor that gave me he gave me something I can't remember what it was, but it looked like Michael McIntyre. I didn't like him.
No. Okay.
I didn't like him. Also that day I had really bad diarrhea that day. Because that's just what happens with all the stuff that's in the system. You just like whatever you eat, it just gets fucking diarrheaed out. But that day, I was I know that's it, man. And then so I had like proper like shitting out blood that day, and I was so weak, and it was just horrible, and I just wanted to get it over and done with. So go in, eventually get over the panic attack, just sweat lashing off me and stuff like that. Then that was really strange because that first night I started to feel ill, rather than giving it like one night, started to feel ill immediately. And then so I woke up the next morning, I wasn't even sleeping. I sort of moved from the position I was in all night, being hooked up to this machine.
Yeah.
And then like I was just sitting on the edge of the bed. It was probably like the lowest point that next morning. It was just a proper low point for me because I was just sick of it. I was just tired. I just wanted to be over with it. And then some wee like porter came in, like offered me a cup of tea, and I was to this day I was like, I want a fucking cup of tea. And he was like, oh, okay then.
There's a man having bloody diarrhea here. A cup of tea is not going to fix this situation.
I know. Fuck your tea.
Unless you've got a bag of flour there.
Yeah.
just eating fucking self-raising flour just to try and get something down.
So I upset that man. I'll never see him again. I really wanted to apologize to him, but yeah.
I'm sure I mean, we have a big outreach. I'm sure he listens.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
The hospital porters love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they love this chat.
I'll tag NHS Scotland in it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not a bad advertisement for it, considering we slate the piss out of them to begin with, and then say that actually they've done a good job on this occasion.
Yeah.
There's a revival.
It's the revival.
Yeah. So for about 3 days, I didn't have a TV in my room. I just sat there for 3 days, just being depressed, staring at the walls. And then so I know it was so bad. And then I finished the 3 days, and I phoned my dad at 3:30 in the morning. It's like, come pick me up now. I want to go. So he got up at his bed, came and picked me up, and just went home. And
did he? Oh, did you actually? Were you allowed to leave, or what was the goal there?
I see. As soon as I got on the drugs, I wanted to be in that hospital. It was a horrible place to be. Yeah. As you can imagine, a cancer hospital is not the nicest place to be. See the sights you see, the people you see, just the lives that people lead. It's horrible, and I just wanted to go.
Yeah.
So he came pick me up at 3:30 in the morning. I just went home and just slept for like 17 hours or something like that.
Oh shit.
And then again, just that cycle of just being ill, not eating, and then I had to go back and get that cisplatin injection in my bum. But this is where it sort of went really wrong, and it was like a little bit scary actually at this point. Rather than putting it in the muscle, it got injected right into my bloodstream by accident. So I got a huge hit of this drug. So I felt fine. The time I got home from Glasgow, I got back to the house, and then I just sort of started shaking. Just randomly, I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And then it got uncontrollable, and I got really hot, but I wasn't sweating because I wasn't drinking either because I felt sick if I drank anything. So I wasn't drinking any water. I was overheating. I was shaking uncontrollably. But I was still I was cold as well at the same time. It's such a strange feeling. I never felt that before. So I tried to phone my dad. No, actually, I tried to phone the emergency helpline for the hospital, but no one picked up. So I was like, "Oh, this is great." Aye, and then at this point, I tried to phone my dad, but I was shaking that much that I couldn't dial the phone. So I had to just mashing the phone, try to phone him, and that's pure panic. So I eventually go through him. We go rushing through to the hospital. Went to A&E, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have an oncologist here." I was like, "Fucking hell! Like, what the hell's going on here?" And then eventually they found someone that kind of knew what they were doing, and they just injected me with this stuff. I don't know what it was, but it immediately made me feel better. Like drop of a hat, and I felt amazing. I was talking a lot. My dad said I was talking a lot of nonsense. I didn't even know what was going on. I was just away with it. And that was a really sort of weak point because I remember going to the toilet once that drug had worn off, and I couldn't even squeeze out a pee because I was that weak.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
I just stood at the toilet and I couldn't even do it. I just didn't have the energy to even squeeze out a pee.
It was just like air that it was just like.
Yeah. Pooh. So
it's
that was
like
it.
It was like when you slap down a bottle of talcum powder on the counter,
Yeah.
and it just dust just comes out. Like the top.
That was a sort of a moment I realised how much it sort of affected my mum and dad because we're lying. I was lying in the bed in the hospital, right, and they were there beside me, and I just I seen my mum, and I just sort of, sorry,
It's all right.
You're right, mate.
It's no live, mate. We can cut all this bit out. It's all right.
Oh, sorry, wait a minute.
No, take your time.
Take time, mate. Don't. It's all good.
Don't push on if you don't want to.
Nah, it's good. Yeah, cool. I just sort of seen my mum, and I just seen just something in her eyes, and it was just a totally different looks that she'd given me, like that she'd ever given me in her whole life, and that was when it was sort of became real to me.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just wanted to be done with it all, and I just wanted to focus and get on to the next sort of couple of weeks and get everything over with and just become normal again.
Yeah.
That was my whole thing. I didn't want to be Jordan, the guy that had cancer. I just wanted to be Jordan again. And then everything got fine, and then I got a bit ill, and then I got better, went back, and like hey, everything's smashing, and that's it really. But then I went back to once that was all done, I went back to work sort of because I'm in my rush for to sort of become me again. I went back to work far too early.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to work 3 weeks after I finished chemo. I just wasn't ready for it at all. Like, considering like what I'd went through, gone back to being a chef and working like 13-hour shifts, a lot of stress and stuff like that. I just really wasn't ready for it. My head wasn't ready for to sort of deal with it.
You probably would have still been physically not fit either. Like, like if you've just done 6 weeks worth of like having no energy, just being at the lowest you can be without kind of physically dying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because you probably were in the scheme of survival. Your body was probably on its way out. Obviously, it was a controlled environment, but ultimately the chemo and then every side effect you had afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
So in that huge rush to get back, I went back like hugely too early. Just sort of got back into it and stuff like that. Thought like that's me done. That's all that completed now. Just brush that off, and then these sort of mental health struggles start to sort of creep in, and because I see afterwards. That's the hardest bit for a lot of people. Is once you just think that you completed that and it's done. It's not. There's a lot more sort of work that still goes on in your head because everything moves so fast with the whole treatment. You don't really have time to sort of comprehend what's happening.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end point and you're like, whoa, Jesus Christ! And then you start sort of thinking and worrying, and so I got really bad anxiety. I couldn't sleep at night, drinking quite a lot as well. But luckily I sort of realised it quite quickly, and I was like, I need to get help. I need to do something like this. So this was about a year after it, and I went to help, and I went to the doctors and stuff like that. And sort of a big part of it was where I worked. It was just this horrible, toxic environment, really. So I dealt with that and I just left. I had to get out there.
Yeah.
So I just sort of tried to change my sort of whole look on life, I suppose, if you want to call it that. So now I have one single dream in my entire life, and that's to be as happy as I possibly can. It's a very achievable dream because you can achieve it every single day, and it's easy to do. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but you can achieve it almost every day. And that's what I was trying. That's my outlook on. That's what I can sort of take from always. I try and be happy every single day now.
Yeah.
And it seems to work. It's working out pretty well actually. It's doing good.
It's simple but powerful at the same time, man. It's as you said, it's super achievable to be able to be happy every single day, even just a part of your day being happy. But no, man, it's crazy.
And it's kind of wonderful in a bad. Well, it's bad that it's wonderful that you had to go through that process to, kind of come to terms with such a simple thing to have in your mind. Like people, everyone still has dreams for X, Y, and Z, but just to knock it back to the basic and go, right, well, do you know what? Fuck it. I just want to be happy every day because I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to feel like how I did at that point. Physically when you're going through the treatment, you didn't have the time to deal with it mentally, and it affected you greatly afterwards.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, do you know what? I'm not a fucking doctor, but it sounds like it's a type of PTSD you had.
Yeah, it could be potentially. Yeah.
I'm not saying you do, but like, what you're describing it, and it's like people that serve overseas or, frontline workers, that's how they deal with things. They deal with the physicality of things then and there. But the mental side doesn't come in until after the dust has settled and everything's back to normal. Exactly. And then these thoughts start creeping forward about, that thing you dealt with, or that fucking bomb that went off, or, that dead child that you saw, So, it's obviously I'm not a doctor, but I can't say that that's what you had, but that's what it sounds like. And speaking to people that have been through these kind of things.
Yeah, that's it. It could potentially be that. I mean, everything's fine now, but it's took like years for it to get here, and it's took a lot of hard work and a lot of sort of self-reflection on what happened and what I sort of went through.
Yeah,
and realize that like you never really want to get to that point in your life again where everything is just horrible, and it's just I didn't want to use cancer to define what I do now, because I think I don't want it to be that big a part of my life anymore. It was something that happened and it's now no longer a part of my life. Because like at the 5-year point now, I'm classed as a survivor now. After 5 years, you're basically a survivor of it. So I'm done. I'm sort of done with that whole sort of chapter of my life, and I can move on now, and everything's just going to be better now, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't even have to go to the hospital anymore for checkups. It's none of that.
Yeah, but I said it's always going to be part of your life because it's in essence changed to who you are, but at the same time, it's all your Jordan's always going to be there. It's just, it's always, this is going to change you for the better, as you said, as Jamie said before, getting that ability to strip your life back to what actually matters, as opposed to all the materialistic shit, and making Jordan happy every single day is your number one goal out of everything. So it's fucking.
You can go down sort of one or two paths. You can go down a negative path, or you can go down a positive path. That's really your two options.
Yeah.
So Jordan, that whole thing you've just obviously allowed me and Dave and obviously all our listeners to listen to, that was a very, very powerful story, mate.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there that, obviously as one of your best friends, because there's 4 of us, there's 4 best friends. That's something I didn't really know at all.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult for blokes to actually share that kind of thing with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a sort of heavy topic, isn't it? So it's not really something that people really want to talk about, or something I really want to get into as well, really.
But I think as well though, like, people don't want to talk about it, but sure as fuck, once this gets released, people will want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's what these platforms are for. Is that it is a really good platform for to get a message out.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if just one person grabs the balls and has a wee feel, then it's all kind of been worth it, really, isn't it?
That's
exactly right, mate. Exactly right.
That's it. So there's a few things I actually wanted to ask. Obviously through your story, Jordan, and some of the stuff I know about. Now, after you got the all clear, your chemo was done. Am I right in saying you were invited back to take part in a study?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
It was at University of Glasgow, because pretty much the drugs that I was on, I'm almost 100% going to get high blood pressure when I'm older, just because of the cocktail of drugs that were put into me. There's quite a high risk that I will get high blood pressure. Yeah, no, it's crazy, isn't it? So it was just a study for to do that, really. But I think it ran out of funding, so I never heard anything more from it.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I done it for a while. Like, it was I can't remember his name, but I used to go through every couple of weeks, and I would just get injections and stuff like that, and he'd just take tons of blood from it. One time he tried to take blood from me.
I tried to take 18 pints.
Yeah, 9 times he tried.
What do you mean? Like 9 times he asked you, or 9
no, he just
samples he took?
No, he just couldn't find a vein or something like that, because where I got the drugs, one of my veins has collapsed.
Oh yeah.
So he sort of struggled to find one. Plus, I'm quite heavily tattooed, obviously. So nurses and stuff struggle to find a vein. But yeah, he tried 9 times once, couldn't find anything. Honestly,
I thought you were going to say.
I think I went in the bathroom and I drowned it.
I thought you were going to say that like 9 times he just kept coming up. Jordan, if you just fill this fuck, can we just have a little bit more blood from you? and after this, we're going to get you a can of Iron Brew. Then we just wondered if we could take some more blood. It's just part of the study. It's just turns out he's some kind of fucking vampire.
Yeah, it's like that scene in Blade when they go to that warehouse and all the people are all in bags and stuff like that.
Yeah, the rave, the blood rave.
Yeah.
if you just like some more blood.
But I eventually found a vein down at her wrist, like a big juicy one.
Ooh,
and
nice.
by the way, never get blood taken from here because it's so fucking sore. By the way, because he used I think he used a needle for what would be used for a horse. It was massive.
How much blood did he want?
Honestly, God, it
All
was
of
so much blood.
Yeah.
Every last drop. But I don't even know what happened with that afterwards, because I've not heard anything about it. I still had her 3 or 4 times to go, but then nothing really happened.
Maybe you just succumbed to some mad guy's weird fetish. Maybe some weird fetish. He disappeared now. I don't know where he went. He always had me taking my trousers off though.
Yeah, I did wonder why he wanted to take blood out the bins at the back. But it's who am I to argue?
Yeah, we must use this blood.
I mean, he had a tie and a shirt on. Just he was a doctor.
He's man's wearing a tie and a shirt.
I am doctor. Give me your blood.
So back to the questions, Jordan. I mean, obviously you kind of in the story you kind of told us, that really hard part when you saw your mum when you were in the hospital. But I think mentally, what was the worst part of the whole ordeal for you?
I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. Really, it was all pretty shit. There was probably the lowest point was could have potentially been that day. Really, that was when I just see my mum feel really sort of sad and a bit downtrodden.
Yeah.
But see, the hardest bit was after it, really, because that went on longer than anything else. Afterwards, when I was better, but that was the sort of mental health struggles after it. That's the worst part, really.
Yeah. And what obviously you said there was a day where you went, nah, this isn't right, I need to go and get help. What kind of help did you get set up with?
Oh, very little, mate. So I went to the doctors, sort of told her how I was feeling, but I was like, look, I don't want any tablets to fix this. I want to sort of deal with it myself in my own way.
Yeah.
I don't really. I think that's a sort of longer down the route sort of thing. If you really want to go down that way. So they sent me to a charity. I can't remember what it's called. So anyway, I go to the charity place, and it's like a place down by the hospital. What's the name of it? I can't remember. No, I can't remember her name. So I go in and I talk to some women. She's like, so I tell her everything that's been happening, stuff like that. And then she's like, I'll get in touch with you. And I've yet to hear from her.
This was 2016.
Yeah. So she was like, "Oh, we can because they do like a men's morning with he's all going to breakfast stuff like that. He's not going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
But that sounded really good. And there was other things that we talked about. You can do this, you can do that, and then nah. She was when I left. She was just threw my phone number in the
Yeah. No phoning him. There's fucking nothing
bin.
wrong with him.
Get rid of him. But the best thing I done was leave my job. That was the best thing I done for myself.
Yep. Yeah, I was actually going to ask, like, what obviously you decided, you made that decision, because and it's tough when it's financial as well, because you made the job. If you don't work, you don't get paid. Or you don't get paid, you don't eat. So
yeah,
apart from the, you took that plunge, you left that job. Was there anything else that you did that helped you, or changed, or anything you changed? Was there stuff you stopped doing, something you started doing?
This is probably going to sound really sort of selfish, really, but I stopped caring about other people. I don't really care about anybody else's problems. Like I'll humor you, but like obviously like my mates and stuff like that, I'll give you advice and stuff like that. But see like other people, like people I work with or just people I know, not interested.
Yeah,
I'm really not. I'm really, and it sounds horrible, but I'm really not interested. And, and that it really helps you, because I think a lot of people invest themselves in other people's problems.
Yeah.
They do.
And it's just, and they get consumed by other people's problems as well. It's like, who cares? Like, my sympathy for you, whatever's happening to you, isn't going to solve anything. So just do your problem and I'll do mine.
Yeah.
I've got stuff to deal with.
It's like that thing that, like, I say it as a joke quite a lot. Someone will say, "Oh, this isn't happening," and that, and I'll be like, "Well, that kind of sounds like a you problem."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a you problem.
That's it. Like I've got my stuff. Nobody cares about that. So why should I care about yours? And it's cheap when you say it out loud. It sounds horrible, but everybody thinks it, just nobody says it. But honestly, that's the best advice I give anybody anywhere. Is don't care about other people's problems.
But do you know what? Look, I laugh, and some people might listen and say it's selfish. I get it. I get where you're coming from, but I think as well, with some people just get too entrenched, and they have to have someone to offload their problem to.
Yeah,
and that's it is good to have people to be able to do that, but it's also, personally, I think it's bad because you're not coping with it. You're just fucking shifting it. You're moving it around the table to, you're just brushing it under a different piece of furniture that's not the carpet. In my opinion,
that's it.
You've still got to do something physically and mentally. If you do have something going on, I think, and can a small amount of people do just completely depend on that and nothing else. They don't change anything else. It's just, I'm just gonna tell Jordan all my fucking problems.
Yeah,
and that makes that makes it better. Offloading off the fuck, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's not to say that I won't listen to people and I won't like help them. But see, once that conversation's done, that's done.
Yeah,
as well. Like I sort of, it sounds a bit sort of hippie-ish for to say it, but I'm big on energy. See people that give off good energy. I like that. People that give off I get a good vibe off people.
Yeah.
And see people that give off like a fun sponge. Hate fun sponges.
Yeah.
They just suck the fun out of the room. Hate it. And I'll hate being around people like that. So I just leave.
Yeah. Psychic vampires, they're called, where they basically suck all the good things out of you, and you're left a fucking shell of yourself going, fucking hell, what have I just sat through for the last 25 minutes?
And like, don't get me wrong, there's certain times and certain people, they want to have a pity party, and let them have it, because that is a bit of a coping mechanism, but not every single time. You can't just have pity parties and expect to get, hope you're getting better or think it is working, because again, I'm not a fucking doctor and this is my personal opinion, but I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, you've got to be able to read people. I think that's the thing. You have to be able to read people quite early on and suss them out and be like, I don't like you. Like I could generally make an opinion of someone in the first like 10 seconds, like, nah, not today, mate. And I was just going
to say that, and Dave could probably echo my sentiment here. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but give me 10 seconds to look at the cover, and I'll fucking make a judgment. Don't worry.
Fucking
Yeah. Well, do you know what? It's different. It's not what I was expected to hear, but but that's things you've changed. and
Yeah.
that's obviously came up for the better for you.
Yeah, there's probably other things like time has just obviously just made it better, I
Yeah.
suppose. But that's the things that I can sort of realise is that don't be too concerned about other people, because that energy can suck the energy out you as well.
Yeah,
It's like a
look after,
poison.
you need to look after number one.
And that's it. Like you've got to see for to be happy in life, especially in this day and age. Like you've got to be quite selfish, I think.
Yeah.
You really do, because who cares about anybody else? Because nobody cares about you as much as you care about them.
Yeah, exactly right.
And people pretend to care. That's the worst. I hate when people pretend to care.
Mm.
It's the worst. And you can spit in their face like, oh, really? You know all that? Who cares?
I'm very much of the ilk of, you just need to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and if there's a problem, rip the fucking Band-Aid off and get it dealt with, or try and make a step to deal with it. Jordan, did you not start doing heaps of exercise afterwards? You're cycling?
Yeah, I've done a few triathlons. Again, I think that sort of contributed to the whole anxiety as well.
You've just said that, like, I done a few triathlons. Jordan, I can't run the length of myself, let alone a fucking distance in a triathlon. So
I barely scraped my arse across the finish line. Really, that was terrible.
Yeah, but you still done it though, didn't you?
That's the thing. That was sort of one of the things that was sort of on my journey to being better. That was me sort of saying "fuck you" to cancer at the end of it. I was like, I could do it, because I read a book. It's by a guy called George Mahood. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, he had cancer in his spine or something like that. And then he went on to do an Ironman, and I was like, I could do that, but obviously I'm not going to do an Ironman because fuck that. So start slow, and then I just thought, I thought I'd do it, and then I really enjoyed it for a while, and then I just sort of fell in love with it. Really, it wasn't for me really. It's a really hard. I'm not good at one thing. You're really average at 3 sports.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You've got to dedicate so much time to it as well, and it's really expensive. But it's good. But you've got to be really sort of heavily invested in it. It just really wasn't for me. But it was good while I done it.
Yeah,
and it was
it's good.
Yeah. I'll maybe have a crack at another one next year. Maybe we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah, because that leads on to my question I had as well. Sorry to cut you off, Jay. But this,
no, you're all right.
There you go. Obviously you've talked about your triathlons, and you talked about the exercise, and you talked about your mindset change. But what has changed about your life since your diagnosis and obviously subsequent surgery and treatment? Has there really been anything else that's really changed for yourself? Because I know that obviously people have to go back every, because you talked about it being 4 years, 5 years clear now, which is obviously being survivor. But has there been anything else that's changed in your life, having to go back every year for a check? Or
can I say something that hasn't changed in his life? You laugh at this. He was fucking bald before he got it.
Yeah.
Just say.
I was.
Jordan's been bald since fucking the first year of high school.
Yeah, I thought it.
Sorry.
I was a keen enthusiast of baldness for a few years before the chemo got to me. I was an amateur at it, and then I'm a professional bald guy now.
Jordan told me early on in high school, because of his short hairline, shall we say, and the way his hair has just never really grown. Well, no, because you did have long hair and longer hair in high school and that. But Jordan told me that in primary school the other kids used to call him the Big M.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Because of his hairline, it looked like a big fucking M on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of started to go bald when I was 18, I think. I was really, really young, actually.
But the thing is, I remember you've always just suited having shaved head.
Yeah.
You've always suited that.
Yeah, I prefer it, actually. It's so much easier. That's another sort of weird thing about the chemo as well, is that your hair doesn't just randomly fall out. It's one day it's in tight, and then the next day you pull it out clumps just like that. It doesn't just randomly fall out.
Oh.
Yeah, I was sitting eating my breakfast one morning, and then I just rubbed my head and just had a big handful of hair, and I could actually pull it out in just huge big clumps. It's crazy. I thought it would just sort of gradually come off, but no, you can just pull it out.
Oh, didn't your eyebrows come off as well?
No, your eyebrows stay.
Oh, I thought your
it's your-
eyebrows came off.
no, it attacks your fast-growing cells, so your eyebrows must be slow-growing, and eyelashes and stuff like that, they stayed. But it attacks all your fast-growing. Even like my leg hair, that stayed because they must be like slow cells or something like that.
Dave, sorry to hijack your question, but that's I can say that was one thing that hasn't changed for Jordan. Is he's always had a shaved head. Let's put it that way.
But no, I wouldn't say anything massively's changed. I realised just how important sort of time by yourself is really. That's really good. Like I do sort of prioritise being alone. I enjoy my own company a lot more now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I do a lot more sort of fun things. Like I started playing rugby now. I've been doing that for the
Cycling's not
last-
really a team sport, is it? So it's more of an individual thing. So
Yeah, I like cycling, but I've not been on my bike in about a year. Like, I built a bike and everything, and just went out it like 2 or 3 times and just couldn't really be bothered with it anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's more to do with the restrictions now. But
You've got to have that
But
drive. You've got to have that drive to that want to actually go out and do the cycle and not make it a fucking chore.
yeah, that's it. See now I play rugby. I think that's like my main thing that I focus on. So it's just, I just find it easier if I just go to rugby. I just really enjoy just smashing cunts. Really, it's really good. It's,
I'd like
it's
to,
a lot easier.
I'd like to mention, Dave, this is not Jordan's first rodeo in rugby. He used to play in primary school and he was really good. But Jordan comes from some very prestigious rugby stock, don't you, Jordan?
Well, I suppose so.
So Dave, Jordan's uncle and cousin have both played for Scotland.
oh, cool.
Yeah, in the rugby. And your uncle's is he still coaching?
I don't think so. He did. He was coaching down in the Borders for a while, but I don't think he's doing it anymore. Either that or he's got some sort of other job. I don't really know what he was. I was
Other rugby, but they've always been rugby based. And your cousin's had a few drafts recently for the Scotland and Six Nations games.
Oh, cool.
And
he's injured. He's injured just now.
We the first time because he was on the lineup for one of the games that me and him were watching at the same time, and it was like, oh, he's coming on, and I texted Jordan, how long till he gets sent off? Ah, he's been sent off.
Aye, with his first cap, I got sent off.
He's got a little bit of a temper.
Yeah,
excellent.
much like my uncle. He's quite he's got a reputation that precedes him in Scottish rugby, apparently.
That's why he got banned, didn't he?
I broke a guy's jaw.
Yeah.
To be fair though, the guy's job is
He was an asshole.
Aye. And so I really enjoyed rugby. I did play Aussie rules for a while, but it wasn't really for me, to be honest.
See, and Jordan's told me about his Aussie rules career, and I wholeheartedly think that a lot of that's to do with the coach that takes that team. From what you've been telling me, because that doesn't sound very social at all. The way he's running that team, he's running it like a fucking league team over here.
Yeah, it was a bit much for me, to be honest. It was a bit too intense. It was a bit too sort of. I know this sounds probably going to sound really silly, but it's a bit too family orientated. Like we're all part of a family, that sort of stuff. Fuck off. Like it was a bit too much. So I just packed it in. It was far too much for me to get involved in.
And wasn't he like blasting blokes for not going on like 2.5K timed runs and all that?
Like on the off season, like we had to do like 2.5K runs and that, and time it, and like, oh, you're getting better and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was just far too intense. Like for a guy that's just doing it as a sort of bit of a laugh, I just couldn't keep up with it. Especially like doing rugby at the same time as well. It just seemed too much.
Yeah, it's certainly because Jordan showed me some of the text in the group chat and stuff, and it's certainly because he's an Aussie bloke running it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess it's no Brisbane.
I don't know.
No, it's the Eagles. Is that?
Perth? Yeah, Eagles. It's Perth team. Yeah.
Oh, right. He's from Perth, I think.
Oh, yeah. It just sounds like he was just running it like he's running a fucking league team here, Dave. Like a first team for a club.
Yeah.
And it was like I think in my view, I think what the boys in Scotland would enjoy playing Aussie rules is a proper fucking third Sunday league. You just turn up and have a run, and whatever happens. Yeah. Come to training if you want. Don't come to training. It's more about putting money behind the fucking bar.
Pints,
those lads.
Pints after the first quarter.
Yeah. Like guys turning up and fucking drinking at half time, and that's the kind of footy that needs to be introduced to Scotland.
Yeah, I just wanted to smash guns. That's all I wanted to do. That's all I was It's when I'm at my happiest.
Yeah. So it seems after everything you've become quite violent, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm never happier than when I've got a concussion.
Violence now releases endorphins in Jordan.
Yeah. Oh, apparently, I was telling you about my eye. My right eye's been a bit funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's apparently I had a concussion, and that's
Oh.
done something in the muscles in my eye.
Oh,
So,
that's nice.
yeah, so now my right eye's all fuzzy. There you go.
Should you just go and get glasses?
No, they can't fix it with glasses.
Oh shit.
Yeah. They've got to
That's
wait for it
just-
to get worse, apparently.
That's not so good. Oh, so you can
I've got to go blind pretty much.
before. No, we can't fix it with glasses. But if you go blind, we'll give you a dog.
Yeah.
And a new eye.
Fucking hell.
The glass one that rattles.
So, Dave, have you got anything else? Because I've got a few more to ask. If you've got, I just because Dave, Jordan, Dave spoke to some of the boys that he works with about the episode that we were running, and I think some of those lads would have had a few questions. Dave, did you get any?
A lot of them have already been covered. As in, I said what your life changed about, and obviously the mental health stuff with the big one, because obviously from what you told us, obviously it's a very regimented process. Once you get diagnosis, you go scan, you go surgery, and then all of a sudden you're sort of left to your own devices once the chemotherapy's finished. And they were talking about the mental health aspect after the fact. And you said obviously you're dealing with it with particular ways. And so I think that's already been answered, Jay, to be honest with you.
Yep, no, that's good.
Yeah.
One for me, Jordan, I think it's important as well because the majority of our listeners, I guess, are Australian, I would say. Obviously, we got some in Scotland, but it's mostly you lot that know the script anyway. But so you went to the doctors, you've been told it's got to come out. You're going into hospital, and then you're getting chemo for like 2 lots of 3 weeks or 6 weeks out. Did you have any, or what financial support was available to you? Because you still had bills to pay.
I was the week before I found out that I had cancer. I walked out of work rather stupidly. So it was we were struggling as it was. So I got a job at Pizza Hut delivering pizzas, and I told them that I'm going to have surgery in a few weeks, and then that was it. I just asked for time off, and they're like, yeah, and I'm still waiting on them phoning when my next shift is. So
there's this guy on the books. We've been paying fucking national insurance for him for years.
Yeah, but to be honest, really, it was Lisa that paid for everything.
Yeah,
she supported us. I got nothing from the government. They weren't. Apparently I had to go for an interview up at the job centre to get like dole money, I suppose.
Yep.
But I couldn't even leave the house to do it.
Yeah.
So pretty much I got nothing. I got £500 from the Bateson charity, which is what about $900 or something like that.
Yeah, say that. Say $1,000. Yep.
So I got that, and the one was really funny. She was like, just say you're buying a laptop or something like that. So I got like £500 for that.
Oh,
but
okay.
that was it. That was it, really.
Wow, it's I mean, that's quite surprising actually, because I think I don't personally know, but I mean certainly in Australia there's some kind of financial assistance available for every situation like that where you can't work. It's quite surprising that I mean, in my eyes, the job centre, some kind of short-term statutory sick pay just to help you buy because the fact you're getting fucking chemo.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that's a bit of a no-brainer that this guy can't really go to work.
Yeah, I didn't get offered anything, and nobody spoke to me about it either. It was just sort of see what happens. Really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, then you've got to be in really sort of dire straits for someone to help you.
Yeah.
I guess you've got to be really forward planning as well, because that happened so quick, and before you know it, you're in getting chemotherapy. You've not got time to look at the fine print on the government website to see if you're entitled to any money. And by the time you make a phone call and are fit enough to go to a meeting, well, you're fucking better again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
you don't have time. You don't really have time to deal with that kind of stuff. It's just you just find a way. Really, that's just what it is. Like, that's not your concern. The financial side isn't your concern, but for other people, obviously, it can be a huge concern. We were in an alright position. We had money in the bank. I was working quite a well-paid job at the time, so
Yeah,
really it wasn't
yeah.
an issue. But I imagine for other people, it could become a huge issue.
Yep. Ah, well, there you go. There you
Mm.
go. And I think, Dave, unless you've any questions, I've got one more.
No, go ahead.
No. So the final one from me, John, is what would you say to someone that's going through what you went through just now? Advice, thoughts, fucking, things to keep them motivated. What would you say to them right now?
Well, I don't really know. Not really much you can say. Everyone has their own sort of journey, really. It's
Mm.
try to just go into it with a good mentality. That's probably the biggest thing. Is don't give in. Don't just give up and think that, oh well, this is me dead now, because it's not. It doesn't work like that. You can always
Yeah.
fight. Yeah, just don't just succumb to the illness. Just sit back and wait for it to overtake you.
Yeah.
Just go into it. Try be
Yeah.
as happy as you possibly can, and
Mm.
don't get too caught up in everything else. Just let everyone else deal with that.
Yeah.
And you do with get
Let
better.
everyone else deal with it. Yeah, let everyone else deal with the shit. You just deal with what's in front of you.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
There you go. We've this has been an absolute blinder of an episode, if I'm honest.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's
Mm.
been fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's very different from our norm. I don't think we got too many funnies in there, which we normally do. Just so there's not too many. It's not too many silly jokes in there. But no, Jordan, look, it's been quite eye opening to hear it. Especially as one of your best mates to actually hear what you went through and afterwards as well, because you never really spoke about that afterwards.
Yeah, I've not really spoke too much
Didn't
about
really.
it to anybody. Yeah.
No. And look, you don't. And I mean, obviously, this space and the stage you're at now, you don't.
Mhm.
If you're feeling like you don't need to, then you don't need to. You don't need to bring it up if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But it was.
I sort of feel more comfortable sort of speaking about it now. Like a few years ago, I wasn't really comfortable kind of speaking about it. So
Mm.
now I'm in a better place. So I think it's quite hard to talk about stuff like that when you're going through it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And I mean, it just shows you though as well, like, and I'm not taking the limelight off, or the seriousness off of what has happened to you, but there's certainly people in worse positions as well, and worse stages of cancer and going through chemo.
Yeah.
And it's taken you a good 5-6 years to be more comfortable actually talking about it. So you can imagine
Yeah.
what it's gonna be for other people to bottle that up for so long.
Yeah, I can't imagine what other people go through, especially when they have like incurable cancers and stuff like that. Like testicular cancer is like a 95% survival rate, so it was always fine throughout it. But I just can't even imagine what goes on in people's heads when they have like a lot worse. When you're getting told like, oh, it's sort of game over now.
Yeah,
And you just,
yeah.
wait, it must be horrible.
Yeah. Oh, we're very sorry. So you've got incurable death cancer,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, okay, fuck, like
Yeah.
you had a quick touch. Yours was very hard and very, pardon the pun, it was very hard and very quick.
Yeah.
But then that was you. So some people it's just that's it. It's hard, quick, and it's game over, or it's long and it's at the end of
it's
it
long. It can be long and drawn out for
yeah.
months, years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still inevitable as well that's what's going to happen to you, that you're going to perish
Yeah.
or succumb
Like
to
you
the
just give
illness.
people a good quality of life, really. That's what that's what chemo does for a lot of people, because it just gives them a couple of extra months.
Yeah. What would you say? What would you say if you could like go back and speak to the staff at the Beatsons that treated you for the chemo? What would you say to them?
Not really much you can say. I
Fuck
don't know.
yous.
It's thank you, really. That's all you can really say. There's not much you can do. Like it's just thank you, really.
Yeah.
Just thanks for saving my life.
Yeah. That's true.
Fuck. Well, there you go. You can't tart it up much more.
Yeah.
You can throw that on a fucking thank you card and send it to them, but it's ultimately that's what they do. But you got to give them their dues. These these people that go into these careers as well, because a lot of them obviously deal with patients that are terminal as well, and that's got to be draining on them as well mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you must have to take your work home with you. Like you can't just switch off. It must be so difficult.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That's the Testicular Special, gentlemen. The and it fits in nicely with our. I think Dave's going to do all the bits and pieces for this episode, Jordan, and our point of contact at Manscaped is going to be heavily told to get around this episode as well. Give it a listen.
Oh, okay.
As I say, they're very big. Obviously, that's one of their main, one of their main causes. Well, obviously, is, that one man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer.
Yeah.
And at Manscaped, they save balls. So, yeah, it's no, it's good. It's good of you to come on and do this with us, Jordan.
It was a pleasure.
We really appreciate it. It's been a laugh. You're more than welcome to come on again, talk some other shit about some other stuff if you want.
Yeah, I could do that and talk about fun things.
Yeah. We could do if you really want. We could do the bald man's awareness session.
Yeah.
If you'd like.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, we should start a petition because I want to start getting like bald man spaces at supermarkets.
Exactly. Especially like hat salesmen. Like hats.
Yeah, exactly.
Hat
Like,
companies.
Yeah, you could have like parent and child, disabled, bald guy parking. That'd be great.
Bald guy parking.
Aye.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So
You
disability.
don't get your head sunburn on the way to the supermarket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least like provide hats. At least.
Yeah. And actually,
Something.
Jordan, you're in a niche market because you and me are also members of the left-handed society as well.
Oh.
And our struggles are daily.
Yeah,
Our
birthday.
struggles are daily.
Honestly, life is an absolute curse right now.
You're bald, you're left-handed, you had cancer. I mean,
I know.
what's...
I don't know how I do it. I should get a cape.
you should have a medal, my friend.
I know, I'm such a hero, and I'm a key worker as well, mate.
Oh, you are.
I'm a key worker.
He's a frontline key worker, Dave. So many people in Britain stood in their back gardens and clapped.
Oh,
Jordan.
don't! You're embarrassing me.
Oh, Jordan, the work you do
honestly,
is very
it was
key.
nothing. It was a privilege. It was my honour to protect everybody else. I'm buzzing. I got £500 off Nicola Sturgeon.
Actually, that's a good. Yeah, you got £1,000 off the government, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Well, wow,
She bought my vote.
she bought your fucking she bought your fucking silence, mate. That's what she bought.
No, she actually bought this monitor that I'm looking at.
Yes, that's the Three Little Pigs podcast. We'd like to thank Manscaped and Nicola Sturgeon
For this lovely Samsung 24-inch gaming monitor.
for bringing the Testicular Special to your ears. Right, I think we'll call it shits. Jordan, thank you very much for coming on and giving us that story, mate. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. That was fun. It's good.
No, it's good. Yeah, it's good. And we'll get you on for another one if you fancy it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Okay, me and Dav Ross will be back for episode 18, 19, whatever the fuck it is next time once Chris doesn't have the shits anymore.
Yeah.
Anything else to say, Dave?
No. Bye.
That's us.
Bye. Bye. Hey, fellas. We are in the thick of winter, and the storms are brewing. It looks like 1 to 3 inches are in the forecast when you trim that hibernation bush that's been taking place in your pants. Luckily, our partners at Manscaped specialise in products that make sure you're walking around town with beautiful snowballs. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code 3LPBOYS at manscaped.com. Manscaped is here to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience, offering precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. The Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer is the best hygiene tool for the modern man. Because of their ceramic blade and advanced skin-safe technology, your snags on your snowballs will be reduced. The trimmer is also waterproof, so you can trim in the shower or jacuzzi if you're a savage. Manscaped's Performance Package is the best buy of 2021. The Performance Package comes with the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0, Weed Whacker, ear and nose trimmer, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag. Have you ever noticed how nasty nose and ear hair is? In fact, 79% of partners polled admitted that long nose hair is a major turn-off, and also that ear hair is extremely hard to say. Well, you might as well use the best tools for the job. This bundle also comes with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner. The Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant that'll make your balls smell nice and make you feel like your testes are walking in a winter wonderland. The Crop Reviver is a spray-on toner for your bolos. is made with soothing aloe and witch hazel extracts that will make your balls look up at you and say, "Thanks, puppy." Don't get cold feet this winter. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code 3LPBoys at manscaped.com. They also have a ton of other amazing men's hygiene products on their website, from disposable mats for your pubes to foot deodorant, and also ball wipes. So head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off with free shipping using code 3LPBoys. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using code 3LPBoys. Thanks, Manscaped, for making our winter wieners look so good.
That's all, folks.